Alright, the next thing we're going to do is look at how to set up an item. Not every tile right now is an item inventory system. We've introduced a small portion of it. Eventually, inventory and item will encapsulate just about everything. But for now, though, let's put a player in the scene, some blocks. We'll go ahead and use just a block. Your standard block tile type is going to be has an option for item. Same thing for weapons as well. For this one though, let's go to the properties. And just so things don't get in the way, you can actually have physics and colliders on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn these off so that we can get right up next to the object. Okay, so be sure both are turned off. And then we're going to make sure the trigger object is going to be turned on. So we'll go to trigger settings and enable trigger. We'll do unlimited and then by player. Alright, and then also, if you want to, you can either do by trigger or you can do by the trigger input. That way, if you wanted to walk over to it, push a button to pick it up, you could. Alright, so we've been going through a lot of these. When you get down to this section right here, this is actually going to be the area where we'll be spending the next part in. It's going to be setting up the item so that this block can actually be an item for the player. If you click on the first box, is item needs to be turned on, and for any player character type that can actually collect, they need to have their inventory system turned on, and by default the player types are. Now we'll go through the list and then we'll just set one up here. So this will be a little bit longer of a tutorial on this part. The item type usable, if you drag it to the side, you'll see it's also a wearable, consumable, and carryable. The one that we'll deal with right now is usable and wearable. The consumable and the carryable, I don't think would actually even apply to this one. So some of these you may try during the early access time, and you may click on it, not see an effect. It's just there's nothing hooked up on the back side for it. So we'll say usable, and there is a add directly to inventory or add and equip. We'll go ahead and do the add and equip for it. And then there's a cost to carry, and the player in his inventory system has a cost for pickup and a cost to carry that can be set for it as well. On the other side, we have options for dropping if the player gets hurt, and then dropping which state. You can drop items if they are equipped and wearable, if they are already equipped and usable. So for instance, if you were collecting a bunch of coins and you got hurt, you could have it where anything of coins came back out from you after that. Destroy item on hurt, so if you just want to lose it every time you get hurt, you can do it that way. And then the same thing for drop on die is the same thing as drop on hurt. It just provides you another state where you can actually check for it. Alright, so we have those. We'll go ahead and say drop item on hurt, we'll say no. And drop on die, we'll say yes. Alright, so that's going to allow this block to be an object to be an item. If I go ahead and go to play here, now remember, we haven't set up where the object goes, so watch. If you notice when I come over it, it's actually behind my player. You can see the corners of it here. Hotkeys, cycling through is 1 and 2. 4 will actually drop your item, so if you push 4 you can drop it. If you're using joystick, it's going to be, I think default is the D-pad, and I think it's up drops it, and then left and right cycle for it. Alright, so the next thing we'll do is set it up so that it's going to kind of behave differently when you pick it up.